Hi, I'm Arthur Kade for Celebrity Page, and how many people get to say they're playing Britney Spears? Well, this young lady, Natasha Bassett, does, and she's doing it on Lifetime Saturday, February 18th. Check it out. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. Natasha Bassett, you can officially say you're playing Britney Spears. How insane is that? When you actually hear that verbally, how insane is it?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, I was a huge fan of hers growing up, so if you told me as an 8-year-old that I would be playing her later on in life, I would have told you you're crazy.
Being 24 years old, obviously Britney Spears is such an enormous part of your life. Talk to me about what Britney Spears meant to you growing up.
Well, pop music was a really big thing for me growing up, so I would perform catwalks in my bedroom to Britney's music and have a hairbrush microphone in my hands and pretend to be her in the mirror. So I guess I had some practice there.
You were role playing for the future. I love it.
Exactly.
When you find out you're going to be playing one of pop's biggest icons, what's your reaction?
I was thrilled. I actually didn't know I was auditioning to play Britney Spears when I went in for the part. So when I found out a few days later that I'd been offered the role, I was really excited.
You're Australian. I'm always fascinated with people having to do accents, especially Southern accents. How did you figure out the Britney Spears accent? How long did it take you to actually get into that character?
Well, I was in London when I found out, and I went to so many bookstores looking for anything on Britney Spears. And I started talking in her accent right away, actually. Drove my friends and family crazy for a week. And I had her interviews playing all the time. Every interview and documentary I could find on Britney Spears, I watched, and I had playing in my headphones every second I wasn't rehearsing or filming. And I stayed in accent the entire shoot.
Is it something that becomes secondhand for you? Are you able to break in and out at any point, or does it go away as soon as you're done shooting?
I can still do it a little bit.
Oh my God, that's awesome. How much more can you do? That's awesome. I would be doing it nonstop. I would be showing off all the time. Britney Spears, when you look at her life, there have been so many incredible ups, so many incredible downs. How does this movie depict both the ups and the downs?
Well, what really compelled me to tell this story is that it shines a very positive light on her life and who she is as a human being. You know, not just is she this powerful performer, she's also a mother to 2 gorgeous sons. She has a residency in Vegas. She's really an incredible human being, and it shines a light on all these positive attributes to her personality.
I've always thought about what it's like to be famous at such a young age. I mean, she's been one of the biggest stars on the planet from essentially a kid. Being 24 and now having inhabited this character, what do you think it was like for her going through this mega fame at your age and even younger?
I can't imagine what it would have been like for her, but I think she faced a lot of challenges in her life, and she's come out on top in the end so strong.
When you look at Britney Spears, the icon, what do you think her legacy is? When people look back down the road at her career, what are they going to say? Britney Spears was fill in that blank.
Fearless.
Fearless? Why do you say that?
I think after playing her, there's this absolute fearlessness to Britney, which I have so much respect for. She has this beautiful, sweet, shy demeanor, but then she has this incredible ability to transform into such a powerful performer on stage. And there's certainly a fearlessness to that. And she's quite blunt, too. She can be very blunt.
She's never messed around, that's for sure.
Exactly.
When the first time you look at yourself, you're in the Britney Spears outfit. What are you thinking? You got to be looking in the mirror and you're like, holy cow, I'm playing Britney Spears. But what's going through your head?
I'm Britney, bitch.
Is that really what happens? I was going to bring that out later. Beat me to the punch.
Yeah, it was very surreal. I went to a tanning salon once a week and they bleached my hair. So I certainly looked a lot different than I do now.
One of the things that people forget, especially when you see someone like a Beyonce or a Britney Spears, they're elite athletes. They're elite performers. The shape that they have to be in to maintain a 5 to 10 minute performance is just freaking insane. Did you have training going into something like this where you had to do that type of performing? Did you have to go through your own dance classes? How did it all work to prepare to do all of the stunt choreography that goes along with being Britney Spears?
There was quite a bit, but I only had a little over a week to prepare.
What?
So the minute I found out, I threw myself into dance lessons and also worked on how to move and walk and stand like a dancer too. And it was crazy. I had a fantastic dance choreographer up in Vancouver. I couldn't have done it without her. And it gave me so much more respect too for Britney and her insane schedules, because I know she does, she can do 10 to 12 hours nonstop a day of dancing, and I tried. It's difficult.
When you look at her career, what have been some of your favorite moments, some of your more memorable moments that you've seen with her?
I obsessed over Oops, I Did It Again, her music video when I was a kid, where she plays the Queen of Mars. And that got me really interested in space and space travel. And she actually created that herself, which I found really interesting. She writes a lot of her songs and creates a lot of her own music videos. So that would have been a highlight for me. Same with Baby One More Time.
When you look at her career, why do you think she's been able to stay so relevant so long and have the success that she's had?
I think there's such a strength to Britney, and that's what attracted me to doing this film, because it's a showing of her strength, and I think that's what has been tantamount to her continuing her career in such a wonderful way.
As you were playing her, were there things that you found out about her and her life that you weren't aware of before that surprised you?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, for Baby One More Time, I didn't know that she creates a lot of the concepts for her music videos, and she did for that. The director wanted to film it as an animated video presenting her as a Power Ranger character, and she thought that was ridiculous and said to her mom, they're going to kick me out of the country if I do this. So she presented them with this idea of playing a schoolgirl dancing around a school hallway. And that ended up being the third most popular music video in history.
So as a young actress, you've been in Hail Caesar, you've gotten to work with some of the best in the business. When you're picking your roles, what are you specifically looking for?
The most important thing for me is that I always want to be challenged. But I'm also an aspiring filmmaker, so I love to write and direct. So I like to choose roles that are complex and where somebody's sense of self is being challenged. But I love comedy too. I'm equally passionate about drama and comedy.
I want to talk about the filmmaker. That's so interesting because right now we're seeing such an uprising and such a wonderful movement of some of Hollywood's best actresses who are getting behind the camera, producing projects. Reese Witherspoon just produced an incredible miniseries for HBO. Yeah, and I heard it's phenomenal. When you look at what's happening right now, talk to me about being part of that movement. Who do you idolize? Who do you look up to?
I really want to write, and I wrote and directed a short film back in Australia, which I received government funding for, and I'm hoping to make more films soon. But I love Charlize Theron, and I've always loved Natalie Portman too, and she's producing some great stuff now.
And she's phenomenal in Jackie as well.
Absolutely.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
What about as an actress? Who do you look up to?
I love Diane Keaton. She's just so cool. and she can pull off drama and comedy. She can do anything. I love that about her. What
is it about the filmmaking? It's so rare to hear actresses who actually want to get behind the camera. Everybody loves being in front of the camera. I love being in front of the camera. What is it about getting behind the camera for you that excites you?
I really want to tell my own stories, and that's it.
When you look at your future, where would you like to see your career go the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years?
I hope to finish my novel within that time
You're
period.
writing a novel
yes,
as well?
I am. Yeah.
God. This is when I realize how untalented I am. Like, God, I wish I could write a novel.
No. I'm sure you could if you tried.
No, I can barely put two sentences together, unfortunately.
I would hope to finish my novel and perhaps another one in that time period. And I would hope to write and direct a couple of films too. Actually, more than a couple, 10 or 15 years. I mean, a few movies.
When people see Britney Ever After, what do you hope they take away from this film?
I think what people will take away from it is that, you know, Britney is you know, she faces all the same struggles that we all face, but hers are under a microscope. She's constantly in the public eye, under scrutiny. She's in the paparazzi, you know, scrutinized for everything she says, does, wears, and everything in between. But she's actually a human being like the rest of us, despite being a mega superstar.
Oh, it's so hard to stay sane in that world, isn't it? So hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a huge amount of respect and admiration for her.
Congratulations. I can't wait to see this. I heard it's really going to be cool. And obviously, I grew up on Britney Spears too, so can't wait to see how you bring her to life.